Welcome back.
Yo! We're not gonna apologize.
Welcome back to the Emoji Podcast.
We're here when we want to be here.
Yeah.
Alright? And last week we were tired. So.
Yeah. And this week we were tired too. I almost forgot about this whole thing because I got a fun Nintendo 64 controller in the mail, and it took me an hour to figure out how to use it, which it should be easy because it was called a plug-and-play controller, where you can just plug it in and start playing. But not for me. It's not that simple. But anyway, I've been playing through Paper Mario. No big deal.
I'm Callie, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Emma. This is the Emoji Podcast. We're here to talk about dragons. And I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just
I have a few things to say.
Dive right in. I'm actually really excited.
But it'll probably turn into a lot of things.
Yeah.
As usual.
I have so many Wikipedia pages open, and I haven't even looked through all of them yet.
I only have 2.
I have...
sorry, I have 3 open.
I have 7.
I have 3 open and then an article.
Huge. Yeah, I have an article too that I can't wait to tear apart.
Whoa.
It's a list of facts about dragons, and none of them are even remotely, they don't make any sense.
Oh,
we're gonna talk about it.
That's so exciting.
But firstly, of course, we're talking about the dragon emoji, which is a mythical creature resembling a giant reptile found in the folklore of many cultures.
Which, okay, I disagree. I don't think dragons are reptiles.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of different depictions. They're not always reptiles.
In the same way that dinosaurs are not reptiles.
Yeah.
Because reptiles came after dinosaurs.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't think they can really...
They're like their own thing.
Yeah, I don't think we can classify them if they're not alive anymore. Or alive, period.
Yeah. And I think, based on what we quote-unquote know about them, they're not, they're warm-blooded, presumably.
Well, we don't know that.
I mean, such a large creature. It's gotta be.
Are crocodiles warm-blooded?
I don't know, actually.
I think they're not.
Because they aren't
But
reptiles
they are in...
Well,
they're not?
Well, they're...
They came before reptiles, for sure. It says reptiles, crocodiles, reptiles.
Well, in the same way that birds are reptiles.
Well, yeah. I just Googled crocodiles. I forgot what I was doing. They used to have a heart warmer.
Okay, so they're staying cold-blooded. But, dragons are massive, bro.
Not always.
And also, dragon, a big thing about dragons is that they breathe fire.
Yeah, but that could be from chemical reactions inside. Doesn't have to be from warm blood.
I know. But, really big animals, they can't solely get their heat from the environment.
Maybe. But the Earth was a lot hotter a long time ago.
But dinosaurs were warm-blooded.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But dragons didn't live during dinosaur times.
So maybe the Earth was a lot colder.
This is all bullshit.
Maybe the Earth was a lot colder and they needed to be.
The emoji description continues. Depicted as a green Chinese-styled dragon in full profile facing left, generally shown with a curling snake-like body, clawed feet, yellowish scales on its back, horn-like structures on its head, and whisker-like tendrils by its nostrils. I gotta say, I love when dragons have, whiskers like that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then it also mentions that Apple's dragon is holding a glowing blue orb. Yeah. I never noticed that.
I never noticed that. Which is, it's so interesting because it's such a very specific detail to have on an emoji that is almost never going to be seen, especially when it's if it was a red orb, then maybe. But it's blue and green are so similar.
Yeah. It's beautiful though. I really like it.
Yeah,
I don't know
I had
why.
to look up a picture of close up.
Yeah, I had to zoom in really, really hard.
It's a glowing orb. It's it looks like energy, and the eyes are glowing the same color.
I like it, but I also don't think it's super necessary,
Yeah.
That's not a component of a dragon that I feel like.
But I mean, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. I think it's so hard to mess up a dragon, and one of these emojis really did. But all the other ones, it's banger after banger. Look at Facebook's. It looks like it's awesome. It has antlers and
I found a really good, interesting thing. The dragon is one of the 4 benevolent animals in Asian culture. Though fierce in appearance, the dragon is believed to have descended from heaven, filled with goodwill. It is thought that dragons help govern the universe, which is why Asian dragons are typically depicted holding a ball, the earth, in their hand. So it is a relevant thing, especially because this design is not a Western culture dragon.
This is this is Eastern dragon depiction.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what, like, now that I'm thinking about it, there are a lot of, like dragon statues and stuff where they're holding, like, a crystal ball or something.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've never really thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense knowing that's what it means.
And if you've played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, there are all these dragons that's the coolest part of the game to me. There are, like, 4 dragons that fly around. I don't even know how many they are. But, like, they fly around and they, like, shoot out, like, balls of light. It's beautiful. And then you get to, like, use your little hang glider and, like, fly next to them, and it plays this beautiful music.
Damn.
And you can shoot them to get, like, scales and stuff, but I don't like doing that because they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And sometimes they kill you, but that's fine.
Okay. I have really good memories of, like, Chinese dragons. Like, for Lunar New Year, my family used to go to this Chinese restaurant that was, like, right down the road from us. And they would have dragons.
That's so
dragons,
fun.
They would hang, like, heads of lettuce from the ceiling. And the dragons would literally, like, stretch their bodies all the way up and eat the heads of lettuce. And then they would give you the little red envelopes and put money in them. And then the dragons would come around to all the tables and you would, like, put the money in their mouth and they'd, like, which is so impressive because obviously it's not a real dragon. It's, like, 4 people wearing a costume. So I don't even know what they had to do. They had to, like, stand on each other's shoulders probably to, like, reach. It was probably, like, a 15-foot high ceiling, you know?
It seems like
bigger. Because it had, like, 2 levels inside.
Yeah. It's similar to, like, American, like, cheerleading kind of things. Where, like, you have to be very light on your feet and also, like, light enough to vault up. Yeah. Because I'm sure they're under the costume, like, basically throwing each other up and, like, trusting that.
Which is crazy because they have a whole costume on. Yeah.
And it's not like they're doing this in, like, an open field or whatever. They're doing, like, there are people and,
they
like,
had, like, the middle of the restaurant kind of cleared out so that they could do this.
Well, but sure, then, like,
you know, they're walking around and there's not great visibility in those things, you know? No. And there were 2 of them. They had 2 dragons going around.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
It was so cool.
I've never seen, like, a dragon performance like that live.
It was really cool. We used to go every year.
I want to go so
bad. And then
the
restaurant went out of business. But then a different restaurant, I don't know if it was the same owners, if they just, like, totally rebranded, but it was, like, not as good. And then they had, like, a kitchen fire. And they had to close.
Do you think the dragon did it?
And now there's, like, a new Asian fusion restaurant. Maybe the dragons did it. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I have a favorite. I've chosen.
You have a favorite? Oh my god, I haven't chosen my favorite.
Okay, favorite is strong. I have one that delights me.
Do you like the Twitter one?
No, I fucking hate the Twitter one.
I was going to say,
the
like
Twitter
the
one
sucks.
One, don't you? No, Microsoft is really good. Microsoft is really good. Apple's is really good. Like,
which one delights you, though? The Noto color emoji animated is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Skypes.
Yeah, I
that
do
one's
like Skypes.
Fun. It's kind of like a blend of, like, Asian dragons and, like, kind of Western European dragons. Like, yeah,
it feels
you can't
more
really tell which way it's leaning towards.
It feels more European than most of the others because it doesn't have, like, definitely. You know, the whiskers and it's not as colorful. But
it doesn't have, like, wings.
But it doesn't have wings.
You know,
it's very serpent.
It's still like a serpent-like, but it kind of looks like maybe it just has a long neck. It's kind of like a unifying sort of design, which is fun.
I really enjoy it.
Toss face is so fun. Yeah. What is that? That's so cool. I don't know if I would look at that and think it's a dragon.
Interesting.
But I like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it kind of looks like a tree wearing a mask.
I think it's difficult.
It's so fun.
At least I'm on, like, a dark mode kind of thing, so it's kind of hard to see, like, where the body even is.
Yeah, same.
Because it's such a dark color. Mode. But, like, contrasted with, like, a light, I feel like that would be really good.
HTC.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
god.
One.
I think that one might be my favorite one.
It's just, like, for those listening at home, it's a delight.
Picture Puff the Magic Dragon.
And he's green and he's like slumped over. He's got a
big belly.
He's
got
like
little tiny wings. I love when big dragons have tiny wings.
This feels very Dragon Tales to me.
Yes.
Like that was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
Yeah.
I was desperate to collect rocks that looked like the dragon scale that they had that would take them to the Dragonland.
Whoa.
So I would constantly be collecting rocks because I was like, one of these, I swear to God, it's going to bring me.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Dragon Tales. Like, I know I did because my sister really loved it. Mm. But I just don't remember. Like, I remember Cassie, who was the pink dragon. And I remember her because we had, like, a friend of one of our cousins was, like, that had that name. So I just remember, like, oh, like Cassie. And then I remember the purple, like, two-headed one or something.
Purple and green.
And then there was a big
Zack and
one.
Wheezy. Yeah, and Ord. Yeah.
Damn.
I love these guys. We had a Dragon Tales CD-ROM video game that I was obsessed with. And I don't even remember what you would do on it. I just remember, like, you would click all the little, like, characters.
Yeah.
I loved, like, point-and-click video games.
Yeah, those were good. Bring those back.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, HTC is my favorite. All the other ones are beautiful. I love when dragons are, like, beautiful and ornate and, like, have so many colors. And But that one's just so funny.
Yeah.
And there is no proposal, but there is a document that is a report from an ad hoc meeting of the Emoji Committee.
Oh, what I would give to sit in on one of those.
I know.
Do you think they do them virtually? Do you think it's a hybrid
Probably
format?
Because, I mean, like, I don't want to assume where these people are or, like, their ethnic backgrounds or anything, but there are names like, you know, Andrew West, Kim Kyung-sok, Chen Zhuang, Peter Constable, Deborah Anderson, like, these names
It sounds like there's people from different places.
Yeah, like, if I was assuming, I would assume that these people are all over the world and not, like, in one central place.
Yeah. They're not all, like, American names, you know? Like...
It says they met in Dublin on April 21st, 2009.
Oh my god, they have conferences?
Then some participated by telephone.
Ah! That's so fun.
And they had a long deliberation. That's hilarious. That's amazing. This document has, let's see, 18 items.
What a silly little job.
I know. These people are like real people.
To do this?
I don't know.
Like, do they work for, like, Apple? Do they work for, like, who do they work for?
Unicode, probably.
Unicode. Interesting.
I don't know. But I think it's really delightful that, like, there are groups of people who, like, feel so passionately about this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so nice. But dragon was a pretty early emoji, which I was kind of surprised about.
Like, it makes sense, but also, at the same time, like, there's so many other emoji that aren't in, like, the official emoji list, I guess.
Yeah, like the canon.
Like, the canon. That almost seem more ubiquitous. Like, dragons are objectively ubiquitous across cultures, you know? But there's some things that are, like...
They're not, like, a human being, you know? Like,
yeah,
a person face-palming or, like...
Yeah.
A pregnant woman. Like, those things are, I would argue, seen infinitely more than dragons are in our daily life. But
I would agree with that. I would agree.
Have you heard about St. George killing the dragon?
No.
Guess what? St. George's feast day is tomorrow.
What?
When we're recording this, St. George's feast day is tomorrow, 23rd of April. So we're recording this on the 22nd.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. But he slayed a dragon, and that was, like, his whole big thing. So he got a feast day out of it.
No way. No way. This bitch was lying.
That's hilarious. No, he probably did it. He probably did.
But, like, no.
Who knows? It says the legend of St. George and the Dragon. 6th century AD. So, it's been a while.
Wouldn't it be crazy if you woke up one day and, like, you were in an alternate universe? Like, you know that movie Yesterday? I never watched it, but it was like the guy wakes up and it's like, oh, the Beatles never existed, whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine you wake up in an alternate universe and all of the archaeological records we have of dinosaurs, they were actually dragons. And that's like an accepted fact.
I feel like not much
dragons in like elementary school.
But I feel like not much would change. Like we would be like, but imagine there were these really long-necked giant things walking around.
I know, but it would be like, I don't know. I think it could radically change things. I think it's crazy. like, for there to be, like, speculation, you know? Like, dragons, like, mythical creatures versus, like, dinosaurs where there's, like, species and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, imagine knowing all the species of dragon.
Yeah.
And it's, like, scientific.
That's be cool.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
This says that a dragon
I love
kept...
dinosaurs, though. Don't go away,
I love
please.
Dinosaurs. I'm going to the Jurassic Park Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This says that a dragon kept pillaging the sheep from the town of Silene in Libya, and it ate a young shepherd. So then people would leave sheep as sacrificial offerings every morning beside the lake where the dragon lived, of course. And eventually the dragon ate all the sheep, and the people were forced to start offering it their own children. Bummer. Huge bummer. The king's daughter came up in the lottery one day to be offered. And then the king pled for her life, but she was dressed as a bride and chained to a rock beside the lake to be eaten. Don't know why she was dressed like a bride. So that's weird.
Andromeda?
Sure. St. George arrived, saw the princess. He stabbed the dragon with his lance and subdued it by making the sign of the cross and tying the princess's girdle around its neck. Thank God.
This kind of sounds like a retelling of, like, Perseus slaying the serpent.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And then St. George and the princess led the now docile dragon into the town, and George promised to kill it if the townspeople would convert to Christianity.
Okay, so this didn't happen.
All the townspeople converted, and St. George killed the dragon with his sword. In some versions, St. George marries the princess, but in others, he continues to wander.
Continues to wander.
He's just walking around.
Tag yourself, I'm continuing to wander.
So obviously that is a very European story.
A very Christian story.
Incredibly Christian. It's interesting that in Europe, the dragon is like a scaly, horny lizard, you know? Horny.
Horny.
A scary, large, fire-breathing, scaly, horned lizard. Which is like, in Christian culture, the serpent is meant to represent, like, evil.
Yeah.
So it's like a representation of evil, you know? Which is why in European cultures, dragons are so feared. But then in Asian cultures and, like, the Chinese dragons are symbols of peace.
I took a class when I was abroad called European Storytelling. It was like storytelling and myths, something. So it was basically like talking about why we tell stories, where different types of stories have come from, like modern stories that are actually like based on really old stories, which is really cool. And there was this one that we talked about that essentially was like the foundation for the Lord of the Rings and like a lot of other stories. Like, yes, Tolkien like came up with his own like mythology and all of that, but like aspects of this story are like very similar to his story. It's an old Norse myth about this legendary hero, Sigurd, and he killed a dragon called Fafnir. And there was something about a ring.
This just says Fafnir slayed his father out of greed, took the ring and hoard of the dwarf Andvari, and became a wormwood dragon.
Okay, yeah. I just remember being like astonished that like, because there was this ring that was like cursed, and anyone who had it like had a lot of power, but then would like inevitably die. And it's like obviously the one ring from like the Lord of the Rings, and then it does like, I think the dragon has it.
Yeah.
And then Sigurd like kills him in some way.
Well, yeah, it said Fafnir became the dragon because of the ring, and then
yes,
yeah.
Oh, that's what you said. I did not hear that part.
Do you want to know some unique dragon legends and facts that are all wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, baby dragons have their own name. Sure.
What? Okay.
Just like a baby sheep is called a lamb, a baby dragon is called a hatchling.
Sure.
And then it says, many people believe that baby dragons are called dragonettes, but this is a misconception. How is it a misconception? This is all fake. Yeah. And then it says, a dragonette is the word for a small dragon, just like pony is the word for a small horse. A pony is not a small horse.
Yeah, a pony is
Ponies
a
are different
kind of horse.
Ponies are different than small horses.
Yeah. A miniature horse is not a pony.
Lil Sebastian is a mini horse. He's not a pony.
Yeah, ponies are different.
So that pissed me off. Then this says, the best way to kill a dragon is with a lance.
Okay, because St. George did it once.
Throw a lance into its mouth.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is how one... Obviously, chimeras aren't dragons, but they're like... one of the closest things to dragons in, like, Greek mythology. And no, that's a lie. There's hydras. But that one guy, can't remember his name, started with a B.
B.
A bee killed the chimera by having a stick with lead on it. Mm. He shoved it into its mouth, and its breath was so hot that it melted the lead. And
the mouth is the only part unprotected by scales. So dragons couldn't always fly.
Okay, and
what the hell do you mean by that?
I couldn't always walk.
Instead, they dropped out of trees onto people's heads.
Okay, is this like a Wikipedia fan page for like a specific
it's
fan base?
Dragonsandbeastslive.com.
Okay, that sounds very general.
Yeah, it seems like it. St. Margaret of Antioch was swallowed by a dragon.
Cap.
Satan was disguised as a dragon. But his stomach rejected her because she was so godly. And she got out unharmed.
Mary of Antioch? Who?
St. Margaret of Antioch.
Oh. So Satan eated her?
Satan eated her and spit her out. Then this says, okay. Ljubljana? I don't know how to say this.
How do you spell it?
Ljubljana. It's the capital of Slovenia.
Oh.
Has a dragon on its coat of arms.
Oh, that's cool.
Great.
Are there any countries that have dragons on their flag?
Wales.
Yes! Yes.
There is one. It's Wales.
Yes.
I love that flag.
Ironic because their name is a homonym of Wales. But they have a dragon.
I'm glad that they have a dragon.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty baller.
It's awesome.
It's really cool.
And the Welsh dragon's like really neat. Its name is... I knew this.
Oh, it has a name?
Yeah.
Like specifically that dragon's name?
Yeah. The Welsh dragon is... Oh, it's just Idraig Gosh, which just means the red dragon. But...
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love that.
I miss when, back in the day, people would put, like, unicorns and lions and dragons on, like, flags.
Yeah.
You know, like coats of arms.
Yeah.
That's baller.
I really wish I had a coat of arms.
I want a unicorn on my coat of arms. That's so cool. We're not talking about unicorns today.
Did you know that Scotland's national animal is the unicorn?
Yes. That is one of my favorite fun facts, actually. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I wish we had family crests and coat of arms still. Yeah. Coats of arms. Because there's one person from my high school, middle school, and I don't remember why she had a family crest, but she had a family crest.
Damn.
And I remember because she turned 16, and then she got a tattoo, like a huge tattoo of her family crest on her upper arm. Like, shoulder to, like, elbow.
Whoa.
Was just family crest. And it was, like, full color. Like, she came in. She was 16. Like...
Whoa. That's a big decision at 16.
Yeah. And obviously, like, her parents had to be...
go.
Yeah. So it was, like, her parents wanted her to get this. Whoa. So, like, she had a whole, like, coat of arms on her arm. Like, family crest. It was really cool.
Wow.
I was like, damn, I want one of those.
I mean, like, if you go far enough back, you might hit, like...
Yeah.
But coat of arms,
I'm sure it was reserved for, like...
are from, like, wealthy Europe.
Yeah, it had to be, like, royalty, like...
Yeah.
You had to be a nobleman or own land, which was, like, impossible back then.
Yeah. There were, like, 3 people who did that.
Yeah.
You know, like...
But we could easily just bring it back, you know?
It would be so cool.
And, like, that would be so cute if you're, like, getting married to someone and then you, like, design your new family crest together.
Oh, my God!
You know? Like,
that's
you can,
beautiful.
Like, combine... like your family crest with like their family crest.
That's
like,
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I think we should.
And it could normalize like combining like shared last names.
Yeah.
Instead of like one person having to take the other person's last name and then like losing part of their identity.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really cool.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll design a family crest.
Yeah. Like research all the symbolism of like.
Find a suitor.
And stuff. That's why, okay. one of the reasons I really like watching Game of Thrones is because every family has like a family crest.
Yeah.
And there's like the big ones, like House Stark, House Targaryen. Those are like the big ones.
Yeah.
But if you go into the Wikipedia for like the books, especially, literally every single family that is mentioned has
that's really
some
cool.
kind of crest.
Yeah.
Some kind of symbol. And a lot of times it's like a variation of like whatever the like basically lords of their region are. So like the Starks. So like a lot of other smaller families there have like wolves on their like banners because they're descended from the Starks, or like the Starks rule them basically. But it's so cool, and like there's tons of them. I don't even know how people like, I think they just like, I don't know if like George R.R. Martin like has made it canon that like these are the correct designs for all the banners. Like I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. It's so cool to just like go through and be like, ooh.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Ooh.
Do you have a favorite like fictional dragon? Dragon?
I was gonna ask you that question.
Do you have a favorite dragon?
Well, segue. I love Toothless.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love Toothless.
I wasn't even thinking about How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
How did I forget?
Yeah. I have a bunch of pages open for How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh god. That movie had a real hold on me. I think I read the books a long time ago, but I never like...
I didn't even know that it was books.
I remember them being
until,
phenomenal.
Like, last year.
Yeah. I want to read them again. We should book club
Have
them.
you seen that they're going to do a live action?
Really?
They're making a live action one right now.
I feel like that could be really good.
2025. Yeah. Have you also seen pictures from like the stage adaptation of it?
Oh,
where they have like animatronics of all the dragons, and they have like literally like 12 different dragons.
That's so
and
cool.
there's a part where Toothless flies around with Hiccup on his back. You gotta look up videos.
That's really impressive.
It's crazy. And these are like top-notch animatronics too, like the like fucking eyebrows move, you know, like that level of detail.
I went and saw
24 animatronic dragons.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a lot.
I went and saw like the Walking with Dinosaurs show one time.
Oh, whoa.
And it was like...
Oh, it's the company behind Walking with Dinosaurs.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Because it was like insane. Like those
it's the same people.
Dinosaurs would literally walk across a stage. Like,
yeah.
It was basically theater in the round.
Videos of that too.
Yeah. And it's theater in the round, so people are around the entire
there's no
stage. There's no
there.
Backstage. Like they can't have like things behind the curtain or whatever. It was in front of us, and like giant like brontosauruses walking around
crazy.
and like pterodactyls flying, and
That's crazy.
So cool. And I'm sure I'm remembering it more fondly than like I would if I saw it now. Actually, that's not true. I would absolutely devour that right now. But
I think I would lose my mind.
But like, you know, the magic wouldn't be like as magical if I like saw, you know, a glitch in the...
And it was based on a BBC show? Oh my god. From 1999? Wow, we should watch that.
Yeah, the documentary.
And it just follows different... I keep saying dragons. Different dinosaurs. Like...
Yeah.
In their life.
They're phenomenal. I can't believe dinosaurs are real, guys.
That is crazy. Like, they probably look
we don't
nothing
talk about that.
Like how we think of them now.
No.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I really wish I could just see a real dinosaur. I know you could say like, oh, chickens or whatever. I don't care. I want to see a real one. I want to see a gigantic chicken. That's what I mean.
But what is a real dinosaur?
Like, I want to go back to the Pleistocene or the Jurassic, you know? I want to see real, like, wild dinosaurs. I don't want to see skeletons.
Not, like, engineered genetically by us.
Yeah.
Or, like, descendants of the dinosaurs. You want to see, like, them.
Yeah. I want to see them in their natural habitat. Like, some zoos I support. I think some zoos can be really, really beneficial for the animals.
I agree.
But I don't ever think that a scenario where seeing an animal in captivity would be more exciting than seeing it in its wild habitat.
100% agree.
Like, that's so cool. If you're walking and you see, like, a giraffe.
Yeah.
Like,
going on a safari is, like, 10 times cooler than seeing any of those animals in a zoo.
Yeah. And, like, I don't want to think about, you know, oh, they'll be in captivity their whole life. Or, like, they were probably born in captivity. They don't even know, like, what's out there. Like, that's sad. That shit is sad. I want to see a giraffe and have it be like, what the fuck? What is that?
Yeah.
And then run at me and trample me to death.
Well, it is probably not going to be possible to see real dinosaurs.
I know. That's actually like the worst part about being alive. There's so much like taxes. There's so much shit that sucks about being alive, but not knowing that dinosaurs existed and just are real.
The phrase "cost of living"
exists. Fucking sucks.
I think about all the time. That's the worst thing to ever exist.
And the fact that it's like almost impossible to attain nowadays.
And also like, to convince people that that's not how our society should be structured.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That sucks, but even more than that, not being able to see a real dinosaur.
Yeah, that's ass. That's ass.
It sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Because, like, at least I can learn to live with, like, taxes and stuff, you know?
But, like, think of all the amazing animals that we have here, you know?
I know. Honestly, like, I really do.
It's hard. It's hard when you're, like, used to, you know, everything.
Yeah. Because like, in our mind, like, a squirrel is so simple, you know? A bunny rabbit is, like, so normal. But, like, to aliens, that shit would be crazy.
Or, like, you know, in Australia, it's, like, koalas are, like, the normal.
Yeah, kangaroos are everywhere.
Running around. So it's, like, it's all about... you know, what you're used to. But I think
and it's a lot of perspective.
My world would be a lot different if dinosaurs were like the usual.
Yeah.
We probably would have killed them all by now.
Don't say that. I hope that they would have killed us.
I mean, we like killed all the mammoths. Pretty much.
Honestly, okay, if they were to bring back woolly mammoths, I would not be that upset.
I would be totally on board.
Maybe I'm crazy for saying.
I'm okay. Anything they want to bring back that like humans or like hominids existed around.
Yeah. Except for the dodo. Don't bring back the dodo. That thing was on its way out anyway.
What do you mean?
No, the dodo, you're right actually. They were pretty smart. But I think it would be disastrous if we brought back the dodo.
Why?
It would be like Jurassic Park, but like if Jurassic Park were a comedy, you know?
Yeah.
I just think they would cause too much destruction.
I think they're funny.
They are funny, but I think it would be... Honestly, I think it would be cruel. But a woolly mammoth could, like, really fight for its own, you know?
Bring back the Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah.
Fucking killed out of
Those things are
existence.
so pretty.
Yeah.
Bring back dragons. How about that?
Were they ever here to begin with?
Who knows? There's this really cool... So, there's Wawel Cathedral, which is a Catholic cathedral in Krakow, Poland, and there are bones hanging outside of the cathedral that are purported to belong to the Wawel dragon.
Whoa!
But they're actually from a huge Pleistocene mammal.
Whoa!
Which is really cool. So they are real bones.
Yeah.
They're not dragon bones, but.
Yeah.
They're enormous Pleistocene mammal bones.
Yeah.
And then here's one of them hanging.
Wow. Do they know, like, what part of the animal that's from? Like a rib, maybe?
I don't know.
I'll
look into it.
That's cool. Well, I'm really interested about, like, why are dragons so ubiquitous?
Yeah, why do they appear in every culture?
You know, it's like dumplings are in every culture.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, oh, we have grain, we have meat. How do we put that together?
Oh, we wrap the meat in the grain.
We wrap the meat in the grain.
Perfect. And it's almost like it's human nature.
Yeah.
To do that. Which is interesting.
But also, there are dragons in every culture.
Which is interesting because one of the only innate fears that we have, fears that are not taught to us, are snakes.
Yeah.
Babies are afraid of snakes without being told that they should be afraid of that. That is not the case with spiders. It's not the case with, like, any, like, creepy crawly, like, any other fear.
Heights, loud noises.
That are, like, typical.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about heights, actually.
Heights is like learned. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Acrophobia. Learned. This just says it may be evolutionary or learned. Cool.
Okay, so a lot of them we just don't really know. But one of the only innate fears we have that we actually share with other apes.
Yeah.
Like chimpanzees, innate fear of snakes. Automatically. Instinctual. Which is interesting because dragons are snake-like.
Yeah, serpentine.
Yeah.
Except there's one monkey that does not have a fear of snakes.
And it's because they didn't evolve around snakes.
It's because
they don't live with snakes.
Yeah, they're from a very small portion, I think, of Africa that does not have native snakes.
Yeah. So they kind of just lost their...
It's just like not in their genetic code. Like, and they don't know to be afraid of snakes. That's crazy.
Yeah. I understand, like, I was a biology major, so I took a lot of classes and, like, have thought a lot about, like, how evolution works and, like, the energy that's expended in, like, you know, maintaining certain structures or, like, you know, stuff like that causes some things to be lost over time through evolution or, like, evolve separately, you know, all that stuff. I know nothing about, like, cognition in evolution.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole different beast.
If it's, like, if, like, your common ancestor had an innate fear of snakes, presumably, and then you were isolated on this island with no snakes, is it like a cognitive burden to, like, hang on to this, like, innate instinct and then it's lost? Or is it, like, a habituation thing? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, it has to be beneficial enough for it to persist so consistently. Like, it's been in our evolutionary code forever. It will be in our evolutionary code probably forever. It's in all these other animals' evolutionary codes.
But it's interesting too because there's, like, you know, there's a lot of vestigial things. Evolution is far from perfect, you know, like there's a lot of things that we hang on to and they're not particularly useful. But I would argue that being afraid of snakes is useful.
Yeah. Hopefully less useful nowadays than it was before, but
it's also interesting because I don't think I'm afraid of snakes.
I know I'm not, because I saw a snake on my way to get mail once. It was on our campus. I was walking up that hill to go to the receiving center. Yeah. And I saw something moving and I was like, oh, what is that? And it was a snake. And my first instinct was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Like, I was so excited and I couldn't get a picture fast enough. I know, like, I know.
A little garter snake, they like.
Yeah, it was black and it was pretty long and, like, it was.
Did it have, like, a stripe going down it?
I don't know. I didn't see it well enough. But
probably a little garter snake.
Yeah, I used to, like, there was one field in my hometown that always had snake skins in the spring. Whoa. So we would go and, like, collect snake skins. Yeah. And my mom would be really mad. She would be like, please throw that away. Because, you know, it's skin. It's gross. Yeah. But.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me because, like.
Do dragons molt? Do dragons shed their skin?
It's really interesting. I don't think alligators do. If that's, like.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah. I guess it depends, like, how thick their scales are, you know? Yeah. Maybe the smaller dragons would.
Birds don't either, as far as I'm aware of.
I mean, they molt feathers.
Yeah, but they have, like, scales on their feet.
Yeah,
those
that's
are,
true.
Like, technically, like, reptile scales.
Gross.
Because birds are reptiles, if you haven't heard the news. They're reptiles.
There's a dragon in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wow.
Dulcie.
Anyway, really interesting. I also feel like we would be remiss to not mention Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's in the title. I was looking up Dungeons and Dragons. Because, yes, they do have dragons in Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
And they have different colors of dragons. And based on the color of dragon determines what type of breath weapon they have.
That's awesome.
So, like, if they shoot fire or cold or electricity, acid, poison.
What color is acid? Orange?
Black and copper. They exhale powerful acid. Let me
I would argue.
Magical fire is used by gold dragons, brass dragons, and red dragons.
Okay.
Electricity. Lightning is exhaled by blue dragons and bronze dragons. Acid. The black and copper dragons exhale a powerful acid. You'll like this one. Poison. The green dragon's breath weapon is a cloud of chlorine gas.
That's good.
And then cold. The white and silver dragons both release a cone of sub-zero air and ice.
A cone.
Which is cool. And then in D&D, in the more, like, recent editions, you can also have Dragonborn.
Yeah.
You can play as a Dragonborn when you're, like, descended from dragons.
Yeah.
Like a humanoid dragon.
I played some games with Dragonkin, which are, like, human-dragon hybrids.
RuneScape?
Yeah, RuneScape. They stole the eggs of the gods or whatever.
Oh, slay.
I don't know what's going on.
I think one of the big plot points in Skyrim is that you're a dragonborn.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, like, I've played the beginning of Skyrim many, many times.
Me too!
I always get very, like, I don't love open concept, open world games because I get very confused and also scared of the choices that I can make. In Skyrim, there are so many choices, and always what would happen is I would crouch down inevitably next to somebody, and then I would accidentally steal something from their pocket, and then they would find out because, of course, they would, because I was level 1 in everything, and then I would be wanted by all the cops and the police, and then I would be in jail, and then I'd accidentally steal something else. And, like, every time I play Skyrim, it's just, like, I'm in jail. That's all I can do. So, I haven't really played Skyrim. But I do like when the dragons come. It's funny. Yeah.
I've watched my cousin play parts of Skyrim, and then he, like, had me just, like, make a character with him, and then, like, started and had me, like, make some of the choices. And then, like, the summer ended, and then we stopped playing. And then started Skyrim.
Yeah.
And played, like, half an hour of it and stopped. Yeah.
It's like, I understand the appeal of it. I feel like I would get it a lot more if I could, like, get farther enough into the game, but
And stop stealing things. Like, disable the steal option.
But it's just, like, every time I'm like, oh, how do I do this? And then I crouch down, and then the first, like, the button that you press to, like, do things is, like, steal. I always press it. Always. Yeah. But there's a great, one of my favorite YouTube series is Monster Factory by the McElroy brothers. And they have an episode pretty early on where they make Cyber Garfield, I think, in Skyrim.
What?
So he's like a cat. You know, you can be like the cat person.
Yeah.
He's like a cat person, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to steal all the lasagna that I can find or whatever. And he's running around Skyrim.
Is there lasagna in Skyrim?
I don't know. But then they, like, try to break the game using cheat codes. So then they, like, cheat and summon, like, thousands of dragons, and it, like, completely crashes the game.
Cool. As I would expect.
There's, like, a horrible sound of all of them, like, screeching, and the game just, like, disappears.
I pretty much have, like, the opening scene, like, memorized at this point. You know?
Good, you're finally awake.
You're finally awake. And then, like, you're about to get your head chopped off, and then the dragon appears.
You gotta run. Yeah.
Okay.
We've all been there, brother.
Yeah. I've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit. I don't own the game. I've been mooching off of Noah.
Yeah, I love mooching.
So many choices in that game.
Yeah.
Not sure if you would love it or hate it.
I feel like I would love to watch people play it.
Yeah.
Like, I have such a middle child.
Yeah.
Just zest for games.
Baldur's Gate is fun too because you can play, like, 2-player. So you can each make a character and, like, play as your character and, like, make your own, like, decisions and stuff, and, like,
that is cool,
and it's pretty fun. Sometimes
and then
it's
you
a
get to, like,
weird
follow
it's, like,
somebody.
You're both getting this, like, it's like a split screen sometimes, and it's like both people are, like, having the same interaction with the same person, which can be weird.
See, like, when I was little, I thought Paper Mario had so many more choices. Like, just the way my brother played it, it was, like, so, you know, so much was going on. And now that I'm playing it myself, I'm like, oh, there's one way to go. You know, there's one thing to do at any given time. And it's amazing. Yeah. I'm already in the Koopa Bros Fortress. I already got Bombette. You guys already know. It's great. And I started today.
I do like video games where it's, like, really is guiding you where to go. And you're just kind of there to experience it. Mm-hmm. I do like that a lot.
I like it. I love a text-based game.
Yeah.
And I know that's pretty controversial. Like, a lot of people don't like a text-based game. But, like,
I love a text-based game.
BitLife?
Yeah.
BitLife is awesome. Because there are so many choices in that. But if you want to, you can just hit H, and then watch your character just, like, grow up and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I used to play a lot of DS games that were, like, text-based.
Oh, my God,
Like, I had some Club Penguin games.
Yeah.
That was all text. You know, it was all dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you ever play the Elite Penguin Force games?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Of course. I had, like, there were 3, I believe.
I think I only had one of them, but... Such fond memories.
I believe I had 3. It was either 2 or 3. I can't remember. The Puffles.
The Puffles.
Yeah.
Huge.
I also loved playing Scribblenauts.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which is not a text-based game. But, you know when you open the game in, like... I had Super Scribblenauts, so you could use
I had
adjectives.
both of them.
I had both of them. Regular Scribblenauts.
I had regular Scribblenauts, and I was so close to beating it, and then my stupid dog ate my cartridge. She, like, bit it up, and it wouldn't read it anymore.
Dang.
So I never beat Scribblenauts. But
if only they did, like, the bitter thing on that one.
I know. I think she would have eaten. Back then, she was a huge menace. She ate the drywall.
I should go back. I should finish my Scribblenauts games.
Yeah, we should play Scribblenauts. I used to make dragons and Scribblenauts all the time.
You know when you would open the Scribblenauts game, Super Scribblenauts, you would have like kind of a sandbox little thing to do whatever. I would always make a very specific dragon that I had like a long list of adjectives for.
You do like loyal, purple.
It was diamond. It was made of diamonds.
Loyal diamond.
It was like loyal, indestructible, nice.
Nice.
Like diamond dragon. And it was big too. Like I made it big.
Yeah.
And I would like just fly around and I would just make portals. Have you ever made a portal in Scribblenauts? Yeah. And a random monster comes out?
Yeah.
And I would just fly my dragon and I would just kill things.
I love that.
And then I would dig a basement hole for myself and I would have like a little fort down there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That game was revolutionary.
And then I would like feed my dragon meat.
That's beautiful.
It was so fun. Like I had so much fun doing that.
That game was one of the first games that I played that I was like, this is art, you know? This is so cool because it's like, it allows you to be in such a position of control. Mm-hmm. And I love how like...
And it's just like, what can you think of?
Yeah, like every level has different...
Did you ever used to like type in random letters and it'd be like, did you mean? And you would like click on something random and it'd be like, what even is this?
Yeah, I learned so many words from just like playing Super Scribblenauts. Because I was like, oh, that's what that is. Like, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So fun.
Yeah, we have to play that. I for sure have my copy somewhere.
Yeah. I do too. And there was like I don't even remember what it was called. It was like Ultimate Scribblenauts or something. And I started playing that. Not as fun.
Was it Scribblenauts Unlimited?
Yeah, that one. Not as fun because it was like a storyline and it's like, that's not the spirit of the game. The spirit of the game is
puzzles.
Maxwell is just, you don't know his
Maxwell.
Story. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot. That's so beautiful. I like the little ducks. You know?
Yeah.
God, what a great game.
Really good.
We really peaked back then.
I know. I remember when my childhood best friend got a DS and like was showing me Scribblenauts and I was like, I need this. Mm-hmm. My like 10th birthday, 9th birthday, whatever was coming up. I was like, Mom, Dad, I need this device and I need this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was really young, like our first DS, we had the original, because my dad played Nintendo 64 with his siblings. And for some reason, he got the 64. He's one of 11. So, like, that was a big deal for him to get the console. And then my mom, I have such vivid memories of, like, my mom playing Super Mario 64 and, like, Paper Mario and us watching her. And then, like, Hunter taking over, my twin brother taking over. And, like, the first time he played it and she watched us, which was crazy. But, like, I don't know. So when the DS came out, my mom was like, oh, the 64 is great. Like, the DS must be good. So we had the big, bulky, like, gray. And we only had one. And we had to share it. And they got my brother Animal Crossing. And they got me Nintendogs.
Yeah.
And I ended up loving both of them. So I was like, this DS is mine now. And then, you know, eventually, like, we both got, like, DSIs or whatever.
Yeah, my first DS was a blue DSi. I
had a pink DSi.
Wow. And my friend had a white
The three DSi. Genders.
And then she also got a DSi XL or whatever.
So yeah.
Big. And it was red and it was so cool.
That's hilarious. I had like the decals that you'd put on your DSi. Mine was a bunch of chihuahuas on a piano.
Wow.
And it was like slightly off, so like part of it was sticky and like part of it was like, you know, peeling.
Yeah. And I have a 3DS too.
Yeah, I have a 3DS.
I got it on like a Black Friday deal. My cousin and I. He's like crazy early bird kind of person, so he got it at like 4 a.m. with his dad, who's also a crazy early bird. Went to GameStop and bought us both Nintendo DSs, or 3DSs, and the newest Pokemon game that had come out.
Wow,
so I woke up on Black Friday, you know, like came downstairs, DS waiting for me.
It's like Christmas.
With Pokemon Sun. I was like, okay.
Yeah, all of my my console decisions are always made by when Animal Crossing is coming out. So I bought my 3DS when Animal Crossing New Leaf came out.
Yeah.
So that I could play that. And then I bought a Switch when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phenomenal. New Leaf was where they peaked. It's like Super Scribblenauts and then Scribblenauts Unlimited. Like
they try to do more.
They just went too far. Like New Leaf was perfect. If only you could put things outside. And they did that in New Horizons. Yeah. But they did too much in New Horizons. Like, you could customize too much.
Yeah.
In New Leaf, if it was like, oh, you can put stuff outside now, perfect game. Perfect game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, when you give too much customization, it gets dangerous.
Like, they introduced a whole thing where you can, like, basically terraform your whole island.
Oh my god.
So you can, like,
that's so
build cliffs and, like, bridges and ponds and water and, like, make shapes and stuff. And I was like...
to be The Sims?
Yeah, pretty much. But I was like, this is too much. This is a lot.
I would be the person that just like left it all the same.
Yeah.
Maybe add a little pool.
I left mine the same, but my island is decorated for Halloween, which I want to keep it that way. But like, I also want to go on and like change it because everybody's islands look so nice. Yeah. But I don't want to have to change it. I don't want to have to terraform the whole thing. Yeah. That's so much work. So I haven't played in a long time.
Yeah.
Oops.
I have to get back into, because then I got Pokemon Ultra Moon. And I have to finish that one.
I loved Pokemon Black. That was the only one I had.
Pokemon Sun was the first game I actually like beat.
Wow. That's a big thing.
Like Pokemon game that I beat.
Oh. Just Pokemon?
Yeah. Not game.
Wow. What was the first game you beat?
Maybe Scribblenauts. I think I beat it. Oh, all the Club Penguin games.
Oh, yeah.
I would replay them like 14 times.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I had a Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends DS game that I beat. I remember beating for the first time.
Yeah.
That one was awesome. That one was so good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Toothless is a really good favorite dragon. That was so long ago, but I can't really think of any that I'm like in love with besides Toothless. Like Smaug is cool.
Yeah, he's a cool like dragon. Like
yeah, he's very like
he's not very likable maybe.
No,
but he's a cool dragon.
I do like the dragon in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows where
I was just playing the Lego game. And
I always forget about like the dragon in the bank. For those who aren't familiar, there's a dragon in
Gringotts the Bank. If you're wondering,
but it's like chained up and it's meant to like protect a vault. So like it's been abused or whatever, and then they like release it. I like that dragon. That one's cool, and I like that it's like I love the statue in Universal that like spits fire.
It's really good.
Every couple half hour or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's genius. That's really cool.
It is really good.
And it's beautiful. It's like such a gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love the dragons in How to Train Your Dragon.
I love the two-headed dragon. Yeah. I remember like the first time I saw that, I thought that was such a cool like explanation for like how dragons breathing fireworks. It's like some kind of gas and then they like spark it.
Yeah. I mean, like, chemically, that makes so much sense.
Like, it makes more sense than just, like, spewing fire from, like, some undefined source.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be, like, internal or whatever.
It has to be some kind of combustion reaction, you know?
Yeah. It's so cool. Snot gut and rot gut or something?
No, Snot is Rough Nut and Tough Nut.
Rough Nut and Tough Nut,
They're a dragon, yeah. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know either. I really do like I like the mini dragons that they have in Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter.
Yes.
When they like I don't love the big dragon. I do. They're fine. But like, I love miniature versions of things. So I love when they like, you know, they pull out the little dragon models and they're, it's so cute.
Is it a Zippleback or is that a different It is a zippleback. The
Zippleback.
two-headed one is a zippleback.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How would you use this emoji?
Maybe when I'm feeling wise.
Wise. That's good.
You know?
That's really good.
Especially the dragon that most of the emojis are in the style of. Like, that's a wise,
like a Western,
benevolent
or an Eastern
dragon.
Yeah.
You know, holding the world in its clawed hands.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in Avatar, there's the whole... Spoilers for Avatar, for people who haven't seen it.
Skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Decades old, so you should go watch it now. But there's like... Uncle Iroh is the dragon of the West, and they say, like, oh, he killed the last dragon. But then when Zuko, his nephew, and Aang, the Avatar, finally go and, like, are learning firebending from the masters, they realize that it's dragons, and they're still alive because Iroh had, like, also learned from them and then, like, kept their secrets
and
so that nobody would hunt.
That, I killed the last dragon.
Yeah, so that nobody would hunt them. And they're, like, so wise, and they teach them, like, without even speaking. I love when...
They just, like, transfer their knowledge.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're beautiful.
I just thought of another great dragon.
Which
Mushu.
Oh, from Mulan.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's really silly.
What a good... Disney used to be so good with their animated movies.
I know.
Man, Mushu's great.
Mushu's great.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking about Mushu.
No, that's a really good dragon.
Wasn't there another movie, like Raya and the Last Dragon or something?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the plot was.
I don't either. And then I saw, what was it, Pete's Dragon? I did see that movie.
Yeah.
I must not have loved it because I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
I saw the 2016 version. I haven't seen the 1977.
Oh, I didn't even know it was like a remake of it.
Yeah. It was fine. I think. Yeah. I think I cried, but I cry at most movies that I see in theaters.
Okay.
It's just exciting, you know?
Yeah. It's a big, like, momentous thing, you know?
Yeah, I get very overwhelmed by sound also, so I feel like whenever I'm at a movie theater, I'm, like, always just on the verge of crying.
Yeah.
So if anything remotely sad happens,
I almost cried on my bike ride home or on my bike ride to work because I was listening to Hadestown.
Yeah, that's so real.
And first I listened to it on shuffle.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. Well, because I wanted to listen to one specific song that was stuck in my head, and then it was on shuffle. And sometimes I like that because it's like,
yeah,
I don't really know what's coming next, and it's just like, oh, I love this one.
It's a bit of whiplash sometimes.
And the first song came on, and it's like, you know, Hermes introducing like everyone, and I'm like, it's just so beautiful. Like, I don't know why that was like gonna make me cry, but it's
it made me cry when I saw the stage version. Yeah,
I just think it's, I don't know,
it's
what
real.
A beautiful, beautiful work of art.
I mean, I get it from my mom too. Like, she cries at every play, and musical. Like, everyone, even if she doesn't like it. She didn't like Waitress, and she still cried. So, yeah.
Well, I know we mentioned Universal like a few minutes ago. Did you know that Universal is opening a new park in 2025, and it's going to have
How to Train Your Dragon World?
It's going to have the Isle of Berk.
Yep. Yeah. I'm so excited about it.
So that's pretty cool.
We got to get on down there.
That's pretty cool.
And then there's the Harry Potter ride. Actually, I don't know if it's there anymore. It might have been replaced, but I got to go to Universal right when the Hogwarts, like, that whole section was opened, like right after it opened, and they had like an old roller coaster from before times, but they rebranded it to be like Harry Potter adjacent before they like completely got rid of it, called Dueling Dragons.
Yes. And
it was like,
I went there and it was still,
and it was like the red and the blue, and I remember because we went like September or October, so nobody was there, and all the lines were super short. There was nobody in line for Dueling Dragons. So the ride attendant kept saying, like, do you guys just want to go again? So, like, he had me at, like, the front of one of the carts and my brother at the front of the other cart. And then we'd be like, can we switch? And he'd let us switch. We rode it, like, 5 times. So fun, it was awesome.
Yeah. Well, so big things. Big things. Sometimes I'm, like, always so on the fence about, like, theme parks. Because it's like, oh, it's so, like...
I'm bought into them. I gotta be honest.
But at the same time, it's like...
I think it's really beautiful how much work goes into them.
I think it's really beautiful, yeah. And it's like... at the end of the day, it's like the purpose of them is to just make you feel happy.
Yeah, it's to entertain, and I really like that. It's
to entertain. You know, it's different from, like, traveling to, I don't know, a country you've never been to and, like, immersing yourself in, like, the culture there. Like, it's a very different kind of experience versus, like, going to a theme park to, like, immerse yourself there and feel, like...
Yeah, but, like, it depends on what experience you're trying to get.
Exactly, and I think both are equally valid.
Yeah. I super support theme parks. I don't support, like... mistreatment of workers, wage decreases. Like, I don't support that stuff.
The whole, like, corporation.
Yeah, I don't like all the, basically all the financial aspects I don't enjoy. Yeah. But theme parks at their core are really beautiful. Especially, like, Disney and how much thought they put into it. Like, as awful a corporation as they are so brilliant with, like, everything. Like, perspectives and the color that they choose.
It's art.
It's really beautiful. So I'm super excited to see what they do with that. And I definitely will be paying money to it, which sucks a little bit, but...
Yeah. I love Universal. I think they have a better, like, express pass system.
Yeah, I don't even...
Only because the last time I went, we decided, we were like, whatever, we're just going to stay in the Universal Hotel. Like, it's fine. It's so worth it. It is so worth it. Yeah. Every ride, you just get to go in the express lane, and there's almost no line, ever. Yeah. It was amazing. Big. Which is like, yes, we were fortunate enough to be able to afford to stay in, like, Universal Hotel. But, like, it was really worth it. Mm-hmm. You get your money's worth. Yeah. Anyway. Dragons.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts?
How would you use?
I mean, I like the wise thing. I also like maybe if you're, like, gonna hide away for a little bit. Like, if I was, like, you know, if we were hanging out in the living room and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to my room.
Or if, like, you have, like, a hoard.
If I'm about to go eat a bunch of snacks... But I'm going to, like, keep my door closed. I might text you the dragon and be like, don't disturb. Do not disturb.
If I tell you I just bought 3 cases of Kraft mac and cheese at the grocery store, dragon emoji, you know that's my hoard.
Yeah. In my mind, though, that means that those are yours, you know?
Oh, that's true.
It's like you're bragging.
You're like, that is true. Like, that is my hoard. Mm-hmm. Like, I bought all these things for me. Yeah. I'm a dragon. You gotta fight me. You have to slay me if you want my hoard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that aspect of it. But I also really do like the wise aspect of it.
Yeah. Like, you know those, like, wizard memes?
Yeah.
Like, I think wise, like, in that way. Like,
yeah, kind of, like, a little bit ridiculous.
A little ridiculous.
Like, a little, like, crotchety kind of.
And also just trying to make really everyday activities be, like, put them on another level. And it's, like, me reading my ancient tomes and learning spells from my ancient scrolls, and then in parentheses, like, scrolling on TikTok.
That's genuinely how I enjoy my work and, like, living. Because I'm like, oh, Excel spreadsheets? No, I'm tabulating. I'm, you know,
tabulating. I have an abacus, and I am...
Yeah, I'm fucking
writing down
deciphering
history.
Codes. Like,
yeah.
I love, like, I'm a chemist. I get to do data processing. And whenever
You're just doing alchemy. You're searching for the philosopher's stone, actually.
I do alchemy in the lab, and then when I'm on my computer, I get to, like, learn secret languages, you know? And, like, transfer numbers into, like, pictures. Yeah. That's crazy.
I had to, like, figure out how to code something. So, really, I was just enchanting an object to do
I love
a deed.
Code really does feel like you're creating magic, you know?
Yeah. It's like I'm writing a spell right now.
Yeah.
I'm creating a spell. I'm weaving to get magic together.
And then it does stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's kind of scary. I think computers are going to kill us.
And with that, we that's all we got to say about dragons. Damn. Which, actually, that's not true. We probably have a ton more.
I could talk about dragons all day, I think.
We'll do more dragon stuff one day. Isn't there a second dragon emoji? There's, like, a head face. On. Yeah. So, stay tuned for part 2. Yeah. But I think it's your turn to pick.
Well, we mentioned something, and it got me thinking because I know there's an emoji for this thing. Kind of on the theme of fantasy creatures. I think the unicorn would be really fun.
Oh.
And I remember the day when that became an emoji.
That's exciting.
And I think it's a good emoji.
It is. Know? It's a fun one.
Unicorns are fun to talk about. And we can talk about Scotland.
I was going to say that in that exact same way.
I think that's the only thing I can say in a Scottish accent.
Scotland.
Forever.
Scotland forever.
I can say forever. Mm-hmm. Forever.
Yeah, we can stay tuned. Come in next week because we'll be doing Scottish accents.
Oh, God.
The whole time. That's not a promise. It's a threat. So get your horse's hooves clopping for the majestic unicorn. Left off Noah's Ark, but not left out of our hearts. Next time that we do this.
Everyone vote in the comments. Horses? No, not horses.
Horses?
Unicorns or Pegasi?
Oh. Pegasus. They're way cooler, I gotta be honest.
I do like things that fly.
Things that fly are awesome. Except, actually, I lied. Horses flying sucks.
What?
Horses flying is terrifying. Horses are already really scary. Horses are so big. They're too big, and they're big.
They can hear your heartbeat.
I know. Have you seen the Budweiser horses? Don't like those things.
Oh, yeah, the Clydesdales?
I don't like them. And imagine those with wings. Don't like it. But imagine imagine them with a little horn. That's delightful.
They'll gore you.
They're too tall to gore me. They can't reach down that
Then they'll
low.
step on you.
Okay. They have to kill me like a normal horse. So stay tuned for this discussion.
Your liking of things is just dependent on how easy it would be for them to kill you?
No, if it's too easy for them to kill me, that's cool. If it's enough of a fight where I would be in a lot of pain, not cool.
So like a bear?
Bears are awesome. But they would keep me alive.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
There's evidence. They
keep me alive.
Kill you first.
They don't kill you first. And with that beautiful, happy note, this has been the Emoji Podcast. Special thanks to Tommy Shenefield for the intro and outro music that you're going to hear. You should follow us on Instagram at the Emoji Podcast.
You can email us at theemojipodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us emails.
Anyway.
Tell us about your favorite dragons. I've been Emma.
I've been Callie.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Ride a dragon, bitch.
Yeah. Go ride a dragon, bitch. We'll see you next time.
It was like the worst phrase ever. Dragging these nuts on your face.
Oh my god. We made it an hour without any of those jokes.
I told you I had to make it in one. You can put it in at the end if you want.